This is the Conscious Radio Network.
Welcome to Conscious Radio Network's podcast series, Unlocking Mysteries of the Universe. I'm your host, Reverend Dr. Paul Mekas. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you might be on this spaceship we call Earth. If you're new to the ship or fleet, click subscribe, like, share, comment. Had to throw that in there. You can listen to us on Now, Libsyn, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google Podcast, and Apple Podcast, and any Starbase near you. Tonight we have Daniel M. Jackson. Daniel has been gifted with the ability to communicate with archangels and spirits. With information he guides and assists others to fulfill their spiritual path. As a spirit medium, he can provide you with the insight needed for living in today's world. Together with information from spirit and archangels, you can gain an understanding of your purpose. Why are you here? What is waiting for you on the other side of this life? Daniel is also the author of a new book, The New Beginning, My Awakening as a Spirit Medium. Let's welcome Daniel Jackson. Good evening, Daniel. How are you?
Good evening, Paul. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
That was a good one, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So
Man,
I like
you read that
background.
Perfectly. You could read that better than I can read it because, yeah.
Oh, sometimes I stumble.
Yeah. Don't we
I
all?
get so, especially during our live shows, I get so anxious and happy and like, oh
Sure.
man. And then suddenly I'm like, blah, 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 blah.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. We could all be in control of that if we decided not to be anxious, but, it's not easy to do.
Exactly. It's all about having fun, man. That's
What are you
it
drinking
is.
there? What kind of coffee?
Gotta have
is
some coffee. I was like, I
that?
had a
Yeah,
little nap before the show, and I'm like, I
Did
gotta.
you? Yeah. My wife says, drink the coffee, do the stuff.
Yeah, that's
Not
an awesome
easy.
backdrop you got there, or the your studio and stuff. That's really really cool. I
Yeah,
like that.
because we do a podcast as well, and I have it so it looks the color blue because that's what the color of energy is.
Yeah,
So like even when I look at your backdrop, I see these different colors and stuff like that. But everything that I look at, like when I'm looking at you, I see the color of your skin, but I actually see a mist of blue within that as well because I see energy all the time. But that's just something
okay.
that was brought to me with this ability that I have. I don't call it a gift, I say an ability because everyone's born with it. We all have
Mhm.
it, but some people are meant to keep it. Not everyone is, as well as some people are meant to be teachers, and most people are meant to be students. So just the way it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. So you can see like the auric energy, auric field around people.
Yeah, I can see the blue one that's around you.
Nice, nice.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool.
People have different colors. Some of them, I can see all of them all the time. Especially like people who are healers. I see purple around them. That's a
Mm,
healing soul that's there. But yeah, I can see all the different colors. What I don't want to see is I don't want to see an energy that around you that is red. If I see a red energy around you, that means you have a negative energy around you. These are
mm,
just people who did not cross over into the light and have remained here as an earthbound spirit, and they were just, crappy people or people who like to gossip, but people who want to have power and control over other people. They just
yeah,
remain that, choose not to go in there, remain here as an earthbound spirit, but they like to remain, they have to be around negative people so they can collect negative energy off of that so they can survive where they are because it's just
yeah.
another realm, is it all it is. But when I see that around them, I mean, yeah, I tell people the only way that you can get rid of that is by being a positive person. But if you have one of these things around you, it's because you are a negative person. And they say, "Oh, I'm not a negative person." I go, and then we start talking. Then I find like, "Oh, well, I'm having an argument with my sister, and she's a piece of crap." And I'm going, "Yeah, remember when I said you're a negative person?" They were like, "Oh, well, is
Yeah,
that negativity?" Yeah. What do you think it is? Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And that's why you have these negative energies around you because they need that energy, that negative, to survive off of that where they are in their realm. So they'll hang around you. The only way you can make them go away is by being a positive person.
huh.
That's it.
Uh,
You can't put a cross up. You can't start saying things from the Bible and all that stuff because that
mhm.
stuff doesn't work. I mean,
Yeah.
Out of truistic things, the the cross itself is actually a form of punishment. They put Jesus on that to punish him. So why do you think using a form of punishment is going to make something evil go away? You're putting evil in front of evil. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
doesn't work.
I never-
And same thing with like smudging and all that stuff. Oh, I'm gonna burn all these herbs and stuff like that, this sage, and it's gonna make them go away. Well, they are no longer in a body in the realm they are in. They don't have lungs, they don't breathe, they don't smell. So the only thing you're doing at that point is you're setting off your fire alarms. That's what you're doing. Because if that
Yeah,
stuff was
that's true.
actually gonna work, don't you think all the forest fires in the world would make all the negative energies go away? No, it doesn't, because they can't smell it. So the only thing you're doing is setting them off. But as long as you're putting that positive energy out there, you're setting the intention for positivity, then they'll go away because they don't wanna be around that.
Yeah, the intent in and of
Yes,
itself
the
is the
intent.
most powerful
Yeah, that's same
mechanism.
thing with prayer. As long as you're putting the intent out there, but prayer is not for giving. Prayer is not for asking for more than you're supposed to have. Prayer is for giving thanks for what you do have.
Yeah.
People
Yeah.
just they want their own truth. They want what they want when they want it. Like when they pray for the football game. Well, we prayed to win the game and we prayed to win the game, but how come only we won? Does God not answer our prayers? No, we just set the rules here that say only one winner. Hello,
Yeah.
it's the way the world is. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we set the rules and the parameters and
yeah.
stuff. And then we
We
always
did
ask,
that a lot
why is everything so evil? Why? Because we
because we
called it.
did that.
Yep.
We are
Yeah.
it's not just our president that, "I did this," the gas signs. We did everything here. We as people relinquished the power over to them a long time ago, and now they
Mhm.
do all this stuff, and we just fall in line and do it. We're all slaves to the world.
Mm.
So we have no one to blame but ourselves. You can't
But
blame them
yep.
because that the power and control went to their heads just like it would for anybody, unless you're just a really, really, real good person, and how many of those do we find? So they took the power, and now they're just running with it, and now we let them
Mm.
do it every single day.
That's the thing is like, yeah, they kept running with it. We should
Yeah.
have caught it a lot much, much earlier than this.
Yeah, well, those same people were here in power at the time that Jesus was here.
Mhm.
Jesus came here for he'd only been here once. This was his soul's first time and only time. He came as a representation looking human so that we could understand where he's coming from and we can relate to him. And he came here to let us know that we're all equal. We all came here the same way. We're all equal. We could all share everything in the world because there's enough of everything in the world for everyone to share. And we could all live as free men and women. But the people who were in control, unfortunately, the religious people, the kings and queens, they saw this happening. And they said, look, this Jesus guy, he's about to take our money and our control and our power away from because he's leading people away from us. What
Yeah.
are we going to do? Let's punish him. Let's make an example out of him. And they
Mm.
put him on that cross and they punished him and they tortured him and they murdered him in front of everyone. Not to say that he's dying for your sins, because no one really sins, because we were all created equal. We were all created from God, from a part of him, which makes our soul a divine soul.
Yeah.
Everyone is a divine soul, but we live in a world that has laws and rules in it. So that's why we're breaking and doing wrong things because we're just breaking their rules. Sin is actually their rules. We're just breaking their rules. But he
Mm.
he died on that cross for one thing, so that they could show everyone else that if you do what he's doing, if you follow what he's doing, we're going to do this to you too. We're
Yeah.
gonna make an example out of him to let you know that we have control, we have power over you, and don't follow what he's doing. And
Mhm.
that's what they continue to do all the time.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. Sheesh.
I tell
Yep.
people all the time, why are you wearing a cross around your neck? It doesn't represent Jesus. It represents the power and control they have over us. You're wearing a form of punishment around your neck. Why do you wanna do that? You do it because they convince us to do it.
And the symbolism of the cross goes far back before Christianity. I
Oh,
mean, look
yeah.
at the ancient Celts and the ancient,
Yeah, he wasn't the first one to be on the
yeah.
cross, he wasn't the last one, so but we only focus on the one, because why? Because they want us to believe in only that one instance, and we do.
Yeah.
Know what we could stop doing? Stop believing in that crap. He was here
Yeah.
for a great reason, he was here to just help us.
Oh yeah, teach us.
and
Be
and
teaching us to be
we let
human
them.
and love unconditional.
Yes, absolutely, and love unconditionally, with no conditions whatsoever,
Mhm.
and we could take care of each other. You could be a doctor just to be a doctor to help each other, but they didn't want that. They wanted to, you're gonna come to a doctor and you're gonna pay for it.
Mm.
So it's all about greed, power, money, control, all that stuff.
Yeah. Mm.
See him all the time.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
One of my spirit guides is him. I see him all the
yeah.
time.
He
All
came
the
in, over the last year. Um, I saw him felt him mainly during a meditation that I had, literally
Bingo,
left my body
bingo,
and
meditation.
yep, meditation, left my body, and he came in, felt his presence, and, and then before that, like, it was a couple years ago, I think it was on Christmas. Believe it or not, it was on Christmas Day, and it was the very first time in a very, very, very long time that I actually set foot into a church. As soon as I sat down and the person kind of, calmed down and then, music started playing, I felt his presence and I heard his voice in my, in my mind's eye, in the, internally, I heard his voice and he's
Sure.
like, welcome back. You were missed. You're always welcome. And I felt his love. I felt the love. It's like, wow.
So
It's
did you feel as though you could also do that without being inside of a church?
yep, yep.
There you go.
But
He's
he
just
was
he's
like it was
just
something to remind me, like, here it is.
yeah, you were willing to go back and have a conversation, have a to have this feeling of wanting to be with him and wanting to be around him. And maybe you didn't feel that early on, but maybe the church was just a catalyst for you to do that. But still, he's letting you know you don't just have to come here. We can have a relationship outside of here. We can just have a relationship.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes, and every time I see him, he doesn't look like the suffering Jesus that they have on the crosses.
yeah,
They have the suffering Jesus on the crosses so that you'll know, again, if you do what he's doing, we're gonna do this to you. They wanna remind you of suffering. That's why.
yep,
He's not
yeah, yeah.
suffering.
I know, and it's shameful how they always anytime any establishment out there wants to show his image, it's always in that image of suffering. It's
Yes.
like, stop. It's like, man.
Yes, absolutely. So they
Yeah.
can remind you that, we're gonna do this to you. As long as you know that there's suffering going on, then you could be suffering too. So come to us and we'll absolve you of all your sins and all that stuff. And oh, and we might be able to save you a spot in heaven.
Mhm.
But you got to do a lot of stuff that we tell you to do because they want you to live your life the way they want you to live it and give them 10% at the same time. How did
Oh,
they
yeah.
know about 10% back then? Because the people who wrote this stuff, kings and queens, that's who wrote it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And power and
Yeah, I
control.
mean, Constantine and his Council of Nicaea rewrote basically pretty much everything.
Right. I mean, you got the King James Bible. Why does King James have his own Bible? Because he didn't like the original one.
Yeah.
He wanted his own version that was going to put more power and control in it. So he rewrote it, and people actually follow it. Are you
Yeah.
seriously? Are you serious? Really?
Yeah.
No.
And on
No.
all the books they removed from it, the most common ones is,
Yeah.
the books of Enoch.
The books, part of the Bible that they don't know about Jesus from being,
Did you
you
hear
know,
that?
15. Yeah. I hear everything. Yeah.
The heck was that?
Sorry, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, well, if you're talking to me, things are gonna happen. I always tell people all the time "Do you want your house to be haunted? Invite me in, it will be in 10 minutes."
Oh, mine already is.
Yeah.
It's
Do you know why, though? I mean, more or less, every house is haunted. Every place you go is more or less haunted. Some spirit wanna be seen, but most don't. But you do your daily routine. You wake up in the morning, you do your daily routine, you, crap, shower, shave, whatever you do, you go and do your
yeah.
job and hang out there. Maybe you don't do your job because 'cause you're lazy, whatever, and you come home and you have some dinner and you hang out with your family, you watch TV, you go to sleep, and you wake up and do it all over again. Spirits are around
Mhm.
you 24/7. Just they're watching us, but they don't really care what we do because they don't have to do it anymore. They're not sleeping, they're not eating, they're not breathing, they're not going on vacation, they're not paying bills, they're not driving cars. Where they are, they just are. That's it. And they're just interacting with each other. The ones who are earthbound are just interacting with each other because I can see into both realms, and what's over there is nothing except people and just other animals and stuff. And they're there for many reasons. Some of them just don't go because when you wake up out of your body, you're going to look down, you're going to see your body go, I guess I don't need that anymore. You take a step to the left, you look to the right, there's a light that goes on. That's your personal light. And when that light goes on, you're either going to walk in or you're not. And if you don't walk in, that's your choice. If you do walk in, that's your choice. It's not asking for forgiveness from God. It's just a willingness to want to go in. And once you go in, you'll be washed of all that pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, and all that mess. But if you remain here, you're still holding on to it. Well, here, they're just walking around. There's nothing there. There's no structure or anything. I see like a sort of land thing, and I just see people and animals walking around. But a lot of them know when you stand up out of your body, you're going to get perfect memories from your life here, plus all the other perfect memories from all your other lifetimes. When you realize you've been here 26, 27 times, you're going to know there's a chance you might have to come back again. So a lot of them don't, and they don't want to. So they just remain here so they don't have to come back. Because you're coming back not just to learn lessons, but to fulfill a purpose, your soul purpose, which is everyone's soul purpose is the same. It's not becoming a doctor or a lawyer. That's a choice you make as an occupation, and people don't get that. The purpose is we're here to help each other just for the sake of helping, not just because you can, but because you should. But in a way where someone would come up to you, Paul, and say, you know what, hey, sir, excuse me, I'm lost. Can you help me? And it's going to be a physical way, and you're going to either decide to not help them because you're one of those crappy people who hates the world and hates everybody and me, and I'm going to take 1,000 selfies. If you're taking 1,000 selfies and putting them on Facebook every day, you have a self-esteem problem. Go get that fixed. Okay. But if you're going to help somebody, it feels good. And when you do, it does feel good. And then what you're doing at that point is you're just basically, you're punching your dance card. And then when you're finished here, you go back home because this is not home. This is not where you come from. You come from there, the soul family. That's the original family. You come here to learn lessons, fulfill a purpose. And when you get back there, they let you know if you have done it enough. The thing is, we don't do it enough because they want us to do it a whole bunch, but life gets in the way, and they understand that. So they also understand that they can bring us back again and again and again and again because no one's meant to live to be 150 years old. Besides that, when you're 150, it's going to hurt to pee. So they know they can bring you back again.
Got
so
that right.
they just bring you back. You keep coming back until you get it done. And then when you're done, you get to stay home. Or you can also come back here in the spirit and be a spirit guide for someone else to guide them so they can get it done as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy,
the human condition, our human condition, being human gets in the way. You know, this movie going on around us, you know, walking. And I say,
Fake
and
movie.
that's what's so great about meditation is it helps us, gives us time to step away from the human condition.
Yes.
You know,
to get clear messages, you must have a clear mind, and that's the way you do it.
Yep.
You either do it in meditation or you get some messages sometimes in dreams. But we also get messages throughout the day. We don't realize it. The way I explain it to people is if you have a dog and you blow that whistle and only the dog hears it, well, we get that thing too. You ever get that ringing in your ear with
all
the
the
whistle?
time.
That's actually a message coming through that's coming into your soul. And then the next thing you know, you wake up the next day and you got this bright idea. Where the heck do you think it came from?
Yeah.
It didn't just come from you.
Yeah.
It's they're just trying to guide
sound
us,
of
but
attunement. And literally,
and we are
like
either
tuning a
going to
radio
listen to it.
frequency.
Yeah, absolutely. You are the radio. Yeah, it's just like with the soul, with the body is the soul is is the power and the body is the radio. And if you take the soul out of the body doesn't work. If you take the battery out of the radio doesn't work. It's very simple. But people again, they don't get it. But yeah, we get messages all the time, but not everybody listens and not everybody follows through.
Yeah, there's far too many people don't listen, and then
Yes.
they label it something. It was coincidence, or
Yeah,
it
no
was
such
just
thing as coincidence.
trickery. You know.
No, everything that happens is supposed to happen. It's just some things are going to happen more because you're listening and following through. But when you wake up in the morning and you decide you're going to go to the mall, go to the mall. Don't talk yourself out of it. You talk yourself out of it because the world taught you to have self-doubt, to have fear, to not trust yourself, to not have any faith because they want you to rely on them for everything. Don't rely on them. If you have the decision you're going to make, follow through with it. And then you'll have the experiences that you're supposed to be having. You can also live the alternative life where you talk yourself out of things all the time, but good things don't always happen to those people all the time. Why? Because they're not following with their true path. So they stay on the alternative path, and they just keep coming back over and over again. Now we all do come back, but you can come back less if you punch that dance card enough times, and then they tell you, because it's not judgment. It's more of a life review, and they go over your life with you and let you know what you're doing, what you're supposed to do, and what you didn't do. And if you didn't do enough, they just send you back again. But if
Yeah.
you did do enough, they'll let you know, and you won't have to come back to this mess here because
Yeah.
it's a
It's like
mess here.
a soul contract.
Absolutely, man. You get it, don't you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And like for those, and see, and that's the thing. In all the work I did with spirit and in meditation, and even, I mean, really deep meditation, and going over to the
Good.
other side and just kind of looking at it from the other side and going, I mean,
This is pretty cool.
I've known people who have committed suicide,
Yeah.
and the general judgment of suicide, of what it's people like, oh well, you're gonna go straight to hell. No, you ain't gonna go to
No,
hell. What's gonna
no.
happen is, what you did is you negated your contract. You negated your contract. You
Right.
threw in the towel. So you're not gonna go to hell. You're just gonna have to do it all over again.
You're just coming. It's not punishment. You're just coming back to try it again.
Yep. Yep. You let the human condition get in the way.
Yeah, we
So
do. We do so much that we worry about everything. God did not create words. God gave us an ability to make sound. We created words. So, you could pretty much say any word you want to that begins with the letter F that doesn't sound like fire truck, and he doesn't care. But as long as you're not putting that negative energy on someone. So if you want to call somebody a name, if you want to say that word all day long, fine. But if you want to say that to someone all day long, that's not what he wants us to do. He wants us to
yeah.
take care of each other and be there for each other. Like the president said it back in 2020, but he's a dipshit anyway. But that's just because that's just who he is.
Yeah.
But not to call him a name or anything, but that's just, I mean, he proves himself to who he is. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we have always all been in this together. We just need to realize that. I mean, that's basically what my book is about, even though it's telling a story about me, but it's more or less the message in that part of it is go out and find your people. You're not alone in this world. We're all here. You just have to come out and find it. And the reason it's going to happen better for you is because you're actually being proactive in trying to help yourself and
Yeah.
not just sitting there because, God helps those that help themselves. Well, sort of. He put you here. He helped you. What he
Yeah.
wants us to do is figure out the rest.
Yeah.
We
If he
have
knows
spirit
that you
guides
can
and
do
that's
it, because
really
that's the
help us.
thing, is God gives us tools. Every
Yes.
tool in our toolbox that we will ever need throughout our life. It's just we
Yes.
need to, one, have the
Your
energy
path.
to pick it up, have the nerve
Yeah.
to pick it up,
Yes.
and have the will to be able to do it and move forward with it. If we're going to be
Yes.
lazy and sit back and not want to do anything, even though we got the tools in the
Yeah.
toolbox, he's going to go, I'm not going to help you. You got to help yourself. I gave you the
Yeah.
tools.
I saw a guy on post something on Facebook. Some monk said that the silence is bliss. Well, silence gets you nothing because you're not doing anything. You're not doing
Silence is
anything to help
noisy.
yourself. Yeah. Yeah, you're not doing anything to help yourself or help anyone else. You're just going crazy because you have silence around you all the time.
Yeah.
That doesn't help
Yeah.
you. That doesn't help the general public. That doesn't help the greater good. That just
Yeah.
sits. You're just sitting there doing nothing. What
There's
good
no,
is that?
and there's no true silence, because I tell you, I've gone into silence in meditation, and I tell you, it's not silence.
Yeah.
It ends up becoming noisy and noisier and
Yeah.
noise. You're gonna get all this static and all this information coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's if somebody wants true sensory deprivation, you put yourself in a deprivation chamber, and then you'll start to realize that
Oh,
there
yeah.
is no such thing.
Yeah, even for spirit, like spirit who are on the earthbound side, they hear all of us talking. Now, where they are, there's no time and space, so they're just everywhere. They just are. But what they do hear is all of us. There's 7, 8 billion of us talking at the same time. There's
Yeah,
no they can tune some of that out, but I mean, come on. This is just it's
yeah,
like standing in the middle of the city, just all the you can't get away from it. You can't get
yep.
away from it.
So, wanted to touch base on the 5 signs that you're not living your purpose. So, go over those,
Sure.
and that's in your book. Is that in your book?
Yes and no. I just kinda talk about, um, just different examples of when you're not. I mean, more or less, my book is just me and my story and what I went through to become this.
Yeah.
And then at the very end is a chapter called Chapter 12. It's called The Basics, and these were channeled messages that came from my spirit guides, which are archangels, and this is the word of God. This is what God wants us to do, to let go of all the mess that we have done from the beginning up until now, because as obviously it hasn't worked, and try to move forward and try to change ourselves into being better people so that we can talk to other people to help them to be better people as well, so we can change the world by everyone helping each other in this world. And
Yeah.
that's what he wants for us. He wants us to let go of all the pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, anguish, and all that crap, and move forward. So that's what but I do give some examples in there. But I mean, the way that you're not fulfilling your purpose is very simple. If you think this life is all about you, it's not. It's all about you helping other people. Okay, we're here to help each other. So if all you're doing is putting 1,000 selfies on Facebook every day,
Mm.
what are you doing? You're only trying to help yourself. You're only trying to get people to tell you how wonderful and how beautiful you are. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're already wonderful. We are all beautiful. We all have the ability to do absolutely anything we want to do in this world. We just have to have not only faith in God and Jesus, but faith in ourselves.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have any faith in ourselves, what do we have? We have nothing. But you don't have to have nothing. You can go get something by going out there and helping yourself to help you find people who will help you, because no
Yeah.
one is alone here. But we also have spirit guides giving us messages as well. But again, if you're not paying attention to it, what are you actually doing? You're actually only doing the selfish things in life, the egotistical things in life. We need to get away from that because it's not helping anyone. So
Yeah.
because no, there's no need to have 6 cars and 7 houses and 10
Uh,
boats. These are things that you want.
uh-huh.
Sometimes we need a car, we need transportation, we need a home to live in, we need shelter, we need food, we need, maybe, air conditioning in the summertime and heating in the wintertime. We need those things. We need, medical, support. We need those things because we have bodies that fail all the time. But everything else is just a want. But, if we went back to the original way, in which Jesus was trying to teach us to share everything, meaning we could let go of money. We don't need the money and the power and control. We could share everything. Everyone would be equal. We'd have equal amounts. So but we could be so equal that if I wanted a Porsche, say if I wanted a Porsche nowadays, it'd be because I want to prove how much of a better person I am than you are, how cooler I am than you are. Look at me, 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 me. Yeah, it's not all
Yeah.
about me. But if I could have a Porsche, you could have a Porsche, and everybody could have a Porsche, and then everybody could put all the cool doodads on the Porsche to make it look cool, since we all have the same thing.
Yeah.
What would be the need of having it? There is no need to have it. You're not trying to prove a point anymore, because no one needs to prove a point to anyone, because we're all the same. We're all equal. We all came into this world the same. We're all leaving the world the same. We can all go back to the same place if you choose, and that's if you choose to go into the light or not. But you're still going, no
Yeah.
matter what, because there's 2 rules in this world, and as long as you comprehend them and follow them, you'll appreciate your life a little bit better. And rule number 1 is people die every day, and rule number 2 is you can't change rule number 1. When it's your time to go, it just is. So
Mhm.
we're all here doing this learning experience. But what we need to learn to find out is we don't need as much as people want us to think we need, or are trying to convince us into thinking what we need. They just want us to do that because they want to have power and control over us. And the way that they do that is they make us and go out and work, 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 work. So you can buy, and spend, 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 spend.
So, yeah,
And what do
it's
you
all
end up with in the
consumption.
end?
Yep.
What do you end up with in the end? You die and you don't take any of it with you.
Yeah. I mean,
But you may end up taking all that pain, anger, sorrow, grief, or guilt and going, I don't want to go into that light, and you remain here on
Yeah.
earth bound for it. You
Yeah.
can cross over anytime you want to. You just don't realize that because you have a bunch of other people who are also miserable telling you, don't go there. It's better here.
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're doing all those selfless things for selfish things for yourself, you're not fulfilling your purpose. If you're not actually going out and physically helping someone, if you think you're just standing there going to donate $20 to Africa, do you really think you're helping? No, you're sending $18 to somebody who wants that $18, and maybe
Oh,
$2
yeah.
gets the
Yeah.
people. So
Some
you're not
administrator's
helping.
office and stuff,
Yeah,
and maybe a penny will end up going over there, but you
right.
never know that.
And maybe a penny goes a long way over there, but it goes a better long way? we shared everything. Then we would have enough of everything. You would be a doctor just to be a doctor. You could heal people that way. If there wasn't a price attached to it, a cost attached to it, we would have much more
Oh
because
yeah.
no one we only need the end result and not all that middle stuff that ties everything up, the red tape of the world. So if we're not going out and being proactive, because being proactive is what's going to help you. And if you're not being proactive, if you think you deserve everything, you think you are entitled to everything, again, what are you doing? You're doing nothing. You're not doing anything to help the greater good.
Yeah.
You're just trying to help yourself as much as you can because you think you deserve it. You don't. We all deserve all of it,
Oh
but we
yeah.
all deserve it together. So we can have that, but again, working towards that greater good is what's going to bring everything to us. So, I mean, there are kind of rules to it, like these 5 basic rules, but not really. It's just it's a matter of doing of trying to figure out a better way because we're not doing it right now. We're not, we're just more concerned with the power, the control, the greed. You know, we have all these people in these governmental offices that have jobs that pay $150,000 a year, but somehow they're all millionaires. How's that happen, Paul? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they're lying to us because the left wing and the right wing all belong on the same bird. So
Mhm.
don't pay attention. You know, I hate you because you're red. You hate me because I'm blue. We don't actually hate each other, but we want everyone to believe that we hate each other so that way they can hate us too and hate each other. And
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
problem is we're spreading too much hate, greed, and power and control. And we need to
Yeah.
get away from that. I mean, again,
Yeah, and that
that's
that
what
that
Jesus was
seems
trying
to
to
be
teach
the
us.
yeah, the worst point right now. It's like we have now come to the time where now everybody is now labeled based on a political party. And that's
Yeah.
BS. It's like, come on, really?
Well,
So
people
many
start that
people have
themselves
lost
too.
families because of this. They've lost friendships
Yeah.
because of this, and
Yes.
it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's become so much of that, especially the friendships and the family. You're exactly right, especially in the past 10 years. It's all, you know, it's all just, I don't like you now because I just found out that you like this guy and I like this guy. Well, oh, my daddy can beat your daddy up and that type of thing. And it's like, it's ridiculous stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but
We're
we
acting
need
like
to get back to
14-year-old
the
children.
original idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're killing each other. I always tell people we all live on the same planet. No one's going anywhere anytime soon, so we better start to get along with each other before we annihilate each other.
Exactly,
Pretty
exactly.
simple, but people don't pay attention to that either. They don't
Yeah.
pay attention because they want their own truth. They don't want the real truth because they can't deal with the real truth. They want something that's gonna work for them, but what works for you doesn't always work for me. We need to find something that works for all of us.
Yeah. And the
We're
need
just
for
having a hard
instant
time.
gratification, like instant.
Yeah.
Everything's instant. Like, I need that now. I need that yesterday.
How old
Wow.
are you?
45.
So you remember dial-up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Oh,
look how
yeah.
long dial-up took, and now we don't have dial-up, and then if it's spinning a little bit, we're like, "Oh my god, my life is over, it's the end of the world. I spilled my
Yep.
coffee, it's the end of the world." No, it's not. Go get another coffee and clean your mess up and keep on moving.
Yeah. You're waiting 15 minutes for a kilobyte to go through. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. If
it's
it
it
if
there's
they don't
sometimes
happen when
I
it's
I
supposed to.
still think I've got dial-up at work. Sometimes
Yeah.
there are those days I'm like, "Really?" I just hit the enter key for the next window, and I can leave, go to the bathroom, come back, and it's still on the same screen.
Yeah, well, you know who has control of that? The people who own the cable and who own the internet. Now, if they don't want us to have it, they
Mhm.
want they want everybody to freak out and get angry. So how do they do that? Well, let's
Yep.
turn it off for a little while.
They throttle everything.
Yeah, let's have some brownouts. Let's have some energy crisis. Oh, let's have a food crisis while we're at it. Oh, let's make
Yeah.
stock markets go up and down.
Yep.
Oh, hey, everybody's getting angry. Perfect. You know why
Yep.
they're angry? Because now they know if they pay for a better internet service, that means they're going to work harder and make more money for us. Let's do
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
and that's what they do. We
Yeah.
just
It's
we fall for it
creating
every time.
scarcity. False
Yeah,
senses of security and
yeah.
scarcity.
Like that mask.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you were
Yeah.
going to protect yourself, you would have to be in a full body suit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that mask is not gonna do anything. How do I know that? Because when you go outside and it's sunny outside and it's really hot, what do? You put sunblock on your skin. What does that do? It blocks the rays from coming down and burning your skin.
Hmm.
So if you have a mask on, what's protecting the rest of your skin from something getting on that? Nothing. You're
Oh,
gonna get it.
yeah, I've already known. I think I can probably name more than what's on one hand, 5, 6 plus people who have who has had COVID more than one time
Yeah.
and multiple vaccinations.
Yeah, my
They
sister-in-law, she
still
got
keep getting
all
one.
all
I'm
3
going, whoa,
vaccines.
whoa, slow down.
My sister-in-law got the vaccine, she got COVID. Then she got the next vaccine and the booster and then got COVID again.
Yep. Yep.
So, if you get your dog a bunch of vaccinations and all of a sudden he gets sick, you get upset about that. How come no one's getting upset about this?
I know. It's like we're doing this to ourselves and nobody's of the wiser. It's like
No.
nobody's asking.
Ah,
And that's the thing.
don't worry about
If
the
we ask
government.
questions, they shut us down.
The government, they'll take care of us. But I got the vaccination and now I got even sicker. I'm gonna sue. No, no, I'm sorry, but we put a rule into place that you can't blame us. So, oh well, you die, you
Yeah.
die. Hmm,
Yeah.
too bad. We don't care
Now,
about you.
not to get we kind of moved away from the subject, but to get back on the
Yeah,
subject,
anything
um,
you wanna ask.
so your book you've got The New Beginning, My Awakening as a Spirit Medium. Um,
Yes. The New Beginning is the title of the book, but the new beginning is not about me.
yeah, it's about
It's a
us.
hidden message, as well
Uh,
as at the end of the book is also that the end of the book doesn't say the end. It says 2332, also a hidden message, and it's a double meaning message. That coincides with the new beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I hope people figure it out. They have to read it to figure it out. The
yeah.
book itself is about me, about everything I've gone through, seeing spirit since I was 3 years old, all the way up until now, until the change came that I was basically being, tested by God to see if I was going to move forward with this ability or if I was gonna push away from it. I decided to move forward with it, and then
Huh.
everything changed from there, and then my abilities, this gift, my ability, my everything that I have progressed, and then things were coming on more and more. I was getting more abilities all the time, kinda like, when you order cable and then some extra channels come along with it, that's what happens with me, and it just keeps
Yeah.
and it keeps going all the time, so,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's
And people can find your book on your website, correct?
yeah, they can find it on my website, www.spiritmediumdaniel.com,
And then
or on my
beyondtheveil.com.
website for the podcast, which is www.beyond-the-veil.com. That show is called Beyond the Veil with Daniel Jackson, me,
Ah,
and we do all kinds of spiritual, supernatural, and UFOs and tarot,
yeah.
but health and wellness as well. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I want to
try to
do
take care of people.
some more. I'd like to get you back on maybe to do because a lot of the listeners, I do polls every now and then. And the last poll I've had, a lot of people were asking for because I put mediumship and spiritual and then paranormal and then extraterrestrial or UFOs, and a lot of people picked it was around the paranormal and the UFO thing. So
Well,
I
the
don't have enough
UFO
UFO
thing,
stuff.
I
So
coincide, what aliens are and what angels are. They
mm,
are the same thing.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the one I see angels all the time, archangels, the hierarchy is God, archangels, what archangels call lesser angels because they just have lesser, responsibility. Then you
mhm,
have spirit guides, regular spirit, then people, us, and then low negative energy spirit, the ones who are earthbound. Not all of them are low negative, but they're in a lower energy place, and they just either wanted to choose to go there, or sometimes they're just lost and didn't know they passed away, and they need to be
yeah,
crossed over, so I crossed them over, but yeah, they're just, just a different place, that's all. It's not a bad place. There may be someone there walking around with horns and a tail, but he's not torturing anybody. It's just that's the way he looks like where he comes from. Yeah,
yeah,
that's all.
yeah.
But I see it
Have you,
all. Dogs, cats, horses, cows, fish, everything.
yeah. Have you ever been
And they talk
called
to
to
me.
do any like investigative work? Any groups out there give you a call? Hey, we'd like you to come. We're a client has called us in to investigate their house because they're having all kinds of Problems.
Yes, I did have a guy call me up one time. As I didn't charge him as much as I normally charge for a reading, 'cause and I went out to his home, and, he had it as a bed and breakfast,
Yeah.
and he was having an issue there, so I went and looked around the home, and I didn't just see the negative energy there, I saw the old man that was there who had all his animals with him and stuff like that. He was a farmer, and that's what the place was. I said, "This place was a farm before it was this house here." And he said, "Yeah, how'd you know that?" I said, "Because there's this guy named John who's walking around. I can see him in his overalls. He's like 80 something years old because when you die, if you don't cross over into the light, whatever age you died, and you remain here as an earthbound spirit, you remain that age." So,
Mm.
he's walking around. I see some horses and cows and stuff like that. I said, "But John's upset with me right now." I said, "Why?" He said, "Because he knows what I am, and he knows I'm about to cross somebody's spirit over." And I did, and about half of them left. I said, "But he's okay. He's still got half of them here." But there was a negative energy there. Now, when I see them, they glow red. Um,
Yeah.
so I saw this one at the home. Now, again, I can't make it go away. No one can make it go away. It's only going to go away if you put positive energy out there. But the reason this energy told me it was there is because there's some negative people come into that place, but also right down the street on across the street and on both corners, 3 churches. And what do you think is happening there? A boatload of negative energy because everyone who walks in there is trying to be the better Christian than everyone else, and they all wear
Yeah.
their fancy hats and all that stuff and all
Yeah.
that bull crap. But it's there because it told me one word. It said food, and I said, "Oh," I said, "It's feeding off of all the negative energy. It stays at the churches mainly, but comes over here because there's some over here too." I said, "The only thing you can do is make this a positive place." When I walked in, it was kind of a dreary looking place. I mean, no one wants to be in a dreary place. So paint it some blue colors or some yellow colors. Not stay away from the reds and put some flowers around and just make it a happy place to be. And when you do that, this thing will go away.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Huh.
but I mean, I had a girl with a my wife met a girl at she was doing Reiki. She was taking a Reiki class, and she met a girl there who had a paranormal group, and, she told her she said, "Does any" she asked in the class, "Does anybody know anyone who crosses spirit over?" And she was sitting right next to my wife. My wife said, "Yeah, my husband." And she was like, "Oh my god," and she wanted me to be a part of her group, and I said, "Sure, I'll do that," but by the time that happened, we were just getting ready to leave and move and come out here to Arizona, so, I never
Yeah.
did get a chance to do it, but, I mean, it would have been an interesting experience. The only thing is like I said, I tell people all the time, "If you want your house to be haunted, invite me in, and it will be in 10 minutes," because they follow me everywhere I go, and, so when we get there, I'm gonna do my best to cross them over, but like I said, not all of them wanna go, but I'll do my best, but there's also gonna be a bunch of other spirit there that aren't normally there because they followed me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm willing to do that, but I tell people all the time, and they don't get it until I tell them this, and I say, "You know, you're in this ghost hunting club here because it's just a club more or less." They don't realize that the thing that you're hunting, you will soon become. And they go look at me
Mhm.
and go, "Oh, I never
Exactly.
looked at it that way." I said, "Good. Now that you know that, you
Yep.
wanna be treated with respect, correct? Yes. Well, treat them with respect
Yep.
because they deserve it as well."
Treat them like they would be treated if they were still in body.
Yes, absolutely.
'Cause
And
they
if you
are,
but
and
if you do
technically they are. They're just
yes,
we just
they
can't
feel as
see
though
them.
they still are. They are still when I see them, they still look like they did when they were here. They're
Mhm.
just they're just no longer attached to this meat suit.
Yeah.
And they are because once you get out of your body because right now, the soul that's inside of you, Paul, doesn't look like you. It looks like you the last time you were here. But when it
Mhm.
leaves your body this time, it'll retain you, and you will be you. But
Yeah.
you'll wake up and have all your perfect memories of your life here, but all the other previous memories, you're gonna know you're more than just you were here this time. And they do too. But again, when you wake up, you're still you, and you either cross over, you're just going one place or the other place, but you are still you. The only thing that changes is the way you would look. If you stay here, whatever age you died, you'll remain that age. But if you
Mhm.
cross over into the light, if you're above the age of 30 years old, you'll go back to that type of feeling of when you're 30, perfect, that type of thing. If you're below 30, you'll just grow up into that, but it just takes a long time because there's no time and space there. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a little, but yeah, you are still you. You know, people, oh well, is my mom and dad okay? Your mom and dad is still you, but your mom and dad was also possibly your brother, your sister in a previous lifetime. So they are much more. It's just hard for people to understand that because they're only going through this life. They're not aware of it until they actually leave here and find out they had many other lives.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
the soul groups that we're in,
Yeah.
we reincarnate in groups. So, like you said,
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
you know,
That's
your
why
uncle
people
could have
talk
been your
about.
son in a past life or your father.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You come into this world many times and you come into it different bodies all the time. Now, the only thing about that is nowadays we have all these people who want their own individuality or labels and all that stuff, and they want to change parts. You
Mm.
change parts, you're guaranteeing yourself you're coming back because you're not learning the lessons in the body that you're supposed to be learning it in. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules. I just explain them to people.
Yeah.
But uh, but yeah, you come back with many other people. People they love these terms, soulmate or twin flame, all this other garbage. The soulmate is not someone you're going to fall in love with. Soulmate, mate, 9 times out of 10 is someone that you worked well with back at home in a
Yeah.
group, and you're all back here now, and now you meet up with each other. You could have 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 soulmates. They're
Mhm.
just people who get you and you get them.
Yeah.
It's not because I love the people go, "Oh, I met my soulmate, Daniel," and then I see him 2 years later. "Hey, how's your soulmate going?" Because I know the difference, and they go, "Oh, that piece of crap, he was cheating on me." So I said, "Yeah, real soulmate, huh?" No, that's just somebody you made a choice for. But yeah, they're just it could be your mom, it could be your dad, it could be a dog, it could be a cat, it could be your best friend. It's just another soul that you are connected with. That's it. No, it's not this whole, "I'm gonna fall in love, and when am I gonna meet my soulmate?" You're an egotistical piece of crap. That's what
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
Change that.
Your
Yeah.
soulmates are everywhere. They're
Yeah.
everywhere throughout your entire
Everywhere.
life.
We're all connected to each other. Yeah, but we're not just connected to people. We're connected to dogs, cats, horses, cows, fish. We're connected to the trees outside. Everything that's living here has a soul. It's just and
Mhm.
we're connected to all of it because it's all of the same experience. We just need to figure that out. Once we do figure that out, maybe we will stop cutting trees down. Maybe we will stop,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff and start working together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Killing specific animals for stupid reasons and stupid
Well,
purposes.
yeah, I mean, cow when you go back home and you get back home and you see a cow there, a cow's not gonna walk up and go, "Moo, moo, moo, moo." They're not gonna do that anyway because that's only earth language. Because when dogs ask me questions on the earthbound side, it comes through as English, it just gets translated,
Mhm.
so, but they're not gonna be mad at you because you ate a steak. They understand the cycle of life. They just do. They know what their reason for being here, but again, that's the soul. The soul has nothing the soul is only in the body to take the ride. They are the vessel. The soul does not feel the pain. It's just experiencing it and what it's going through because
Yeah.
it's learning to go through it. That's all. They know when they get back home, "Oh, somebody had a steak. How did that taste? Pretty damn good. Thank you very much." That's because I kept a real good diet by eating plenty of grass. Have a great day.
Yeah.
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 That just
I
makes sense for people.
I just learned the other day too. I was talking to this or listening to this scientist that studies all about all the creatures on the planet and where the history of them and stuff like that.
They're
And
guessing.
he said cow in general are not indigenous to the Americas at
No,
all. They're
no.
originally forest animals,
Yeah.
but we have them grazing out in the pastures, and yet we're killing horses, which are indigenous to the area. It's like we are literally destroying the entire Earth, the planet,
Yes.
systematically and strategically. And
Yes.
yet we're blaming we are blaming ourselves, but we're blaming the wrong product.
Yes. Yes. We actually started on another place before we came here.
Mm.
We call that place Mars, and we look what
Mhm.
we did to that place, and now we're here because
Yeah.
we were. I mean, hate to say this for religious people, but we were not born of Adam and Eve or Adam and Steve, whichever you prefer. We were born of them. We call them aliens. They brought us here. We were born of them. And then they come here all the time in their ships and all that because they're checking on our progress because they don't want to see us destroy ourselves. We would, as the world says, oh, these aliens are coming to kill us and stuff like that. Well, how come we're not pointing up the missiles at them instead of pointing them back at ourselves? Because it's bullcrap. But yeah, they brought us here, and now we're born here. Now we didn't come from monkeys. We didn't. You know why? Because monkeys are still monkeys. That's why.
Oh
So
yeah, they're
yeah,
still here.
yeah. We came as people, and we're just here learning our lessons and fulfilling the purpose and trying to, but we're not
Yeah.
doing a very good job. And we're trying to just get this right, but we're not.
Yeah, and they're trying to get us back to a class 1 planet, which we're not even close to. We're still like
No.
a couple hundred years away from a class 1,
Yeah.
and then there's a class 2 and a class 3, but that's
Yeah.
thousands of years.
Well, guess what? That's not happening. We're not getting to Jetsons in Star Wars.
Oh no,
This place
the
is
way we're
coming
going.
to an end. It's actually in my book, When.
Yeah,
They just need
uh,
to read it to figure it out. But
yeah, yeah.
that's actually coming to an this place is gonna be coming to an end. And when it does, what's gonna happen? We're just gonna start someplace new. Because
Mhm.
we're killing the planet. We're killing everything here. We can't sustain, 7 billion, I mean, before it used to be 6 billion, now it's almost 9 billion. We can't sustain that all the time.
That
We're
was
just
crazy too. This is not the first time it's happened on this planet.
no. No, no, there's been other civilizations that have been here that got it right, the Mayans. How come you can't find anything about the Mayans? You can't find the people, but you see all the leftovers. Why? Because they learned to work together, and then they rose up out of their bodies and went to a higher consciousness. Then we also had the people from Atlantis. Why?
Yeah.
Because they rose up out of their bodies and went to the next place, and everything else got destroyed. Who's last? We are. What are we doing? We're destroying it ourselves.
Oh yeah.
We're not destroying. It's not going to be destroyed so that we can move on to some other place. We're just destroying it because we have no control over ourselves.
Hmm.
We will eventually go to another place, but some of us will go home and stay home. Most of us are gonna come back to another place. We're just gonna be born somewhere else. We're not gonna be very aware of it, but some of them will be because the very beginning people here were very aware of it who tried to teach us. And what did the power and control do? Get rid of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why did they get rid of Tesla?
Hmm.
Because he wanted to do too much free stuff.
Oh yeah.
It wouldn't make any money. And the
Free
people who had
energy.
control over electric companies and all that didn't want that to happen. So they took all his money away from him and he died in destitute.
All his money and documents.
Yeah, everything. But now they're using it now. Why? Because it's making them money.
Yep. They figured, oh man, we can capitalize on this.
Yes, and that's what they do with everything.
Yeah.
What we need to do is walk into the offices and say, hey, you know what? You're fired.
Yeah.
Because you're not
Yeah.
helping us, you're only helping yourselves. We need to take the power back.
Or we just need to do it for ourselves and don't tell anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Stan, I forget Stan Myers. He made the water powered car,
Yes,
and they killed him. Boom, gone.
yes. Because it wasn't going to make them any money because it could just run on water and you could get water anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, he was way ahead of his time. I
Yeah.
remember back in the 80s, I saw a book one time that they talked about a new engine that was going to come out. There was only going to be 3 running parts. What happened to it? It's gone. Didn't make enough money because
Yeah.
if you only had 3 parts and only 3 parts had to be sold. Well, there's a gazillion parts to a car. That makes a lot
Yeah.
more money.
There was that story too about Tesla. I forget what campus. He was on his college campus and he was working on this perpetual motor or this device, and he was riding around in the vehicle in the car, and he opened up the hood and it was just this black box. That was it. That's what was running the vehicle, and the technology disappeared. I
Yeah,
don't know whatever happened to the vehicle. The vehicle just was confiscated.
yeah. And so now we have a new car that just has one big black box. It's called a battery.
Mm,
It's kind of back,
yeah.
but it's not. But yeah, and now they figured out a way to make money off of it, but it's not working out very well because they want everyone to do it right away. They want to stop production of oil, stop putting cars out that make run on gasoline and stuff like that, and we should just stop on the dime and start a whole new. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Just it's
They're
you
wanting
can't
us to
sustain
shift
it.
to something that we have nothing to shift to.
Right.
It's like there's nothing there to support our next energy needs. But
Yeah.
you want to
I
stop
mean,
what we're doing. I mean, completely. Oh, I gotta get away. Gotta get away with get away from, fossil fuels, and we gotta, fast track to battery operated. I'm going, whoa, hold on a
yeah.
second.
If we had that free electricity going up in the air all the
Yeah.
time, we wouldn't
Yeah.
even actually need the battery. We could just travel anywhere all the time. What would that take away from, though? That would take away
Ooh.
from the airline industry, the car industry, everything, and where they
And
make the
see, that
money.
that is the first step to a class 1 planet is
Yeah.
1, weather control we can control the weather,
They do it now, but
and
they
they've
do
been
it
doing it
against
ever
us.
since Vietnam,
Yeah, they do it against us.
and controlling having technology that we don't have to depend on actual natural resources.
Right.
Um, communication, world and global communication, that's instant.
Right.
So, we're not far from that, but we're destroying the planet in the meantime.
Yeah, we have a little bit of Jetsons right now. I mean, we're doing
Yeah.
this. I mean, this was the Jetsons.
Oh, I
He sat
know,
in front of
yeah,
the screen and
yeah,
talked to his boss, but we're doing it. We're not exactly a flying car. We have some hovercraft and some other stuff, but they're still using propellers, still using fossil fuel, and all this stuff. Even though we may not be using, you may be using an electric car, but in order to produce that electric car, you still have to use fossil fuel in order to do that. So to
yeah.
produce the electricity to do it. So we're not getting out of the hole that we've dug ourselves. But we could, but we need to go back to those original those Tesla ideas that he had, because they got that information stored away somewhere.
Oh, yeah, yeah. All
Yeah.
the oil companies and all the oligarchs and the globalists, they held on to all that information, sold it,
Yep,
given it to all the
power and control.
corporations,
Power and
and
control.
yeah,
Yep, all the 1% that runs the rest of the world.
yep,
Yeah. It's
yep.
only 1%. How is it we allow them to do this? Because we just do.
Yeah,
Because
we allow it. Yeah,
we're just not paying attention.
and yet we keep asking, "Why is there so much evil in the world?" Because we gave that 1% that much power to do so.
Yes, we did. Yeah, I mean, even if you read look at law books, look at the court system, I mean, some of the laws that they have out today, you actually read the law, and it's all these thous and those and all it's all this stuff from back in the kings and queens times. Why didn't they change it? Because they're in
Yeah,
control of it. Why would they change it? Because
yeah,
you can't understand it. So since you can't understand it,
yep.
you're not gonna know how to win.
And it's the old laws too. It's not a constitutional law that they're running
No.
the world off of. It's maritime and admiralty law. It's the law of the
Yes.
seas
Yeah, that
that
people no one
that
understands.
yeah, and they don't understand that. So
Yeah, we need some pirates to come back out. They can figure it
eh,
out for us.
exactly, because that's what a courtroom is made up of. A courtroom is made up of all the symbolism within that courtroom is based on the law of the sea.
Yes.
Constitutional law has not been executed or performed in a very, very long
Yeah, I
time.
don't know about you, but I walk on the ground all the time. I'm not out in the sea. I don't get on the
Yeah, I
boats
know,
like
right? I get seasick.
So do I.
Yeah,
Man, that boat walks b I was okay when
mm,
I was in my 20s. I got in my 30s. My ex-wife and I went on this trip, and I got on this boat down in Virginia, and the
yeah.
damn thing rocked, and I went, "Oh boy, I'm gonna
Oh,
get sick." Yeah. Yeah, I got old. Yeah. Now I'm
yep.
crapping my pants all the time. It's great.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sheesh. Wow. Yeah,
It's a
well,
mess out there.
you believe that? Yeah, it is a mess. We definitely wanna get you back on the show again, maybe doing one of our
Yeah,
live
you can have me back anytime you want to.
Monday night podcasts and stuff like that. You believe an
Oh, do
hour
you?
went by that it's an hour, it's like, "Oh."
Yeah, because when time flies when you're having fun,
Oh, yeah.
more or less.
Oh, yeah.
The
Definitely.
thing about that is there's no sense of real time or anything like
No.
that. Yeah, Ben Franklin, he created that whole, daylight savings time, except
Mhm.
they don't do that here in Arizona. There's daylight
Yeah.
savings time.
Oh,
They
I
don't
know,
even
yeah, I remember
we
yep.
have
I
Martin Luther King Boulevard, but they don't celebrate his birthday or anything. But yeah,
hmm.
he invented that, because why? Because he was one of those people who was in control and power, and he wanted us to work more. That's why. That's what
Yeah,
it's all about, working more so you can produce more.
and to provide for the
That's what
government, not
yeah.
for yourself, but to provide for the establishment.
Yes, absolutely, yeah, the narrative. Yes.
Mhm.
All about the only reason we follow a clock anyway is because the sun going up and down, but who really pays attention to that? Because some people work night shift. So
Yeah, yeah.
we're just because there's no actual time involved. The very first calendar was 5 months, and then it went to 9, and then it went to 10, and now it went to 12 months. So in all actuality, if we went back to that 5-month calendar, I mean, you're 45 now, you would actually be 90. But are you?
Mm.
But that's what they want you to believe in, this calendar type thing, but you don't actually stop. You don't actually slow down. Your body slows down to fall asleep, but you are continuously going all the time until the time when you wake up and you're in a baby body and you're going, your mom and dad's going, I'm your mom and dad. And you're going, I don't know who the hell you are, but okay. And then you go through life and they raise you and then you continue to go until your body stops. And that's
Yeah.
it. But you don't actually stop because your soul just keeps going. But they want you to believe in this fact because it has to do with work, has to do with producing for them,
Yep.
not for you, for them.
Yep.
Stop. Let it go,
Produce.
man. It's not important.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna close the show and just hang in after the closing. Have a quick bit. Something like that.
A bit, a bit bite.
Ah,
That's like a candy bar.
All right.
I'll have one of those.
Oh man. So yeah. Yeah. We'll have you on one of our Monday Night Live weekly seance shows.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Based on all kinds
Weekly
of other
seance,
different
huh?
subjects.
Don't bring out the Ouija board, man. That's bad news. Oh my god.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man.
Don't open up a book that you can't close.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, everybody, Daniel, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You are very welcome. Very welcome. And everybody, if for listeners and if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe, like, share, comment. And but other than that, until next time, thank you for watching Conscious Radio Network. And let me get the right thing here. Cool. Y'all have a good night. You take care.